Sales reps, if you're talking to a technical buyer, especially if it's someone who's been hands-on in the past, so they've actually done engineering work, using IT as the example, you maybe should think about going to some technical meetups in your area and go to a cloud or cybersecurity meetup after work one day for 40 minutes and listen to how these people talk about their industry and problems with their job. Or if you work at an IT company, go hang out with your engineers, right? Like go sit with them on a demo, something like that, but start to learn the nomenclature and the language these people use. Because what happens as salespeople, and marketers, we do it too. We just do this marketing speak and we just throw these buzzwords and this jargon at people. I mean, I do it all the time, and we see trends too, Donald, of people recommending make language in your email conversational. And I think specifically what that means is know your niche, and if it's a technical buyer, how do they converse with each other, and make them feel like the subject matter expert. Like as a sales rep, if you're fresh out of college, you can't hang with like a cybersecurity engineer who's been doing it for 30 years, probably. But what you can do is say like, hey, based on what I'm seeing in the space, you seem to be a subject matter expert. Here's why. You know, I read some of the stuff you did. I read this about your company. Really think it's interesting. I'm just trying to learn the space. Would love to connect. And I think, you know, that's a great way to start, and you'll start to get a feel for it. You're going to sound dumb trying to talk the way buyers talk, but like it's not a sleazy thing. It's just like, you know, you practicing engaging with somebody new. Like let's say you went to a new country, you're not just gonna blab English at people when the language is German. It's not gonna go over well. I mean, like these are fundamentals. It's just human behavior to like try to modulate how we talk to somebody. And also, you know, if you go to create content, I bet you remember your first few podcast episodes or producing video on LinkedIn. If your buyer's on LinkedIn, you're gonna sound stupid. Like you're gonna have posts that don't do well, but you're also gonna have posts that do well that your buyers engage with that you never would have expected. If you've been around for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, you know that, you know, email came on the scene in early 1990s, and through the 2000s, I mean, email was very important. And cold calling and, you know, door to door, going to events and networking events, that was super important. But, you know, nowadays we have social media. We didn't even have that in the same capacity even back in like 2010. And so when we think about social selling, if that contact is active on social media, there is a way that we can engage with that person. So really, I think of social selling as like the back end of social engagement. I think cost of sale has to support this. So, you know, there are automated ways we can spam people on social media, but if that cost of a lead sometimes in IT is like $200, $300. I mean, I think a trade show lead, the industry average is like $800. I mean, go do your own research on that, folks, but it's astronomical. So considering that, if it just takes a few hours of your time to get in front of somebody and have them, you know, take interest in your product, that's big. But I think the challenge is executives and sales managers don't know how to measure this stuff. And so as a result, people just spam on social media because it's like, oh, I have to set my meetings this month or this week, and I don't have time to nurture this person for 45 days, 90 days.